It's Powerback time on the Gutsy podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. Listen, if you've been in a challenging spot for a while, or you just feel like you've been in a season where you've had your head down in the trenches, it can be really hard to remember that, hey, there is life beyond this moment or season. The natural human instinct is to focus on what's wrong, and then you see evidence all around you that proves why that's true. I also know that you don't want to stay in that space. So today, let's lift your chin back up. Let's get you up out of the trenches so that you can see ahead again instead of staring at the floor beneath you. Today, I'm going to give you 5 ways to tap back into the possibility so that you feel reconnected, remotivated, and ready to make a change forward. First, I got to tell you this really cool story about one of the members of the Gutsy Collective. She was in a situation where she was wanting to move forward and to grow, but didn't have anybody in her immediate life to help her with that. She shared with me that sometimes her daughter would fill that role for her, that friend role, the person to vent to, the person to go to. And while that can be fantastic in many different situations, it was starting to put a little bit of pressure on the mother-daughter relationship with her older teen. We were in a live session together and she shared with me, Laura, because of the Gutsy Collective, I now have those people that I can turn to. I have other adults that really see me and understand me, push me, hold me accountable, really help me to grow. Like, I have those people now, and now that doesn't have to be my daughter anymore. And one of the things that I'm most grateful for from this group is that I now have my mother-daughter relationship back with my girl. I mean, listen, when she shared that, I freaking fell apart in the best of ways. Not only is the Gutsy Collective helping you as a member, but it positively impacts the people's lives that you're in as well. So if you've been feeling like, I don't have that person in my world, everyone comes to me, but I have no one to go to, problem no more. The Gutsy Collective is that space and are those women for you. Start messy, start scared. My friend, all I ask is that you start. You can sign up today at LauraAura.com. All right, my beautiful friend, let's get into today's topic. I first want to acknowledge that going through something challenging, being in a season when maybe it's felt like things haven't gone your way or stuff has been piling up, you haven't been able to get your head above water. Like, if you're experiencing that, I just want you to just pause for a second and just receive some love. Sometimes life is fucking hard. And whatever you're going through, you're listening to this episode because you're done with that. You're ready to move past this feeling. You're ready to regain your independence. You're ready to be able to move forward. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. Stuff is hard. You're probably navigating a lot of things on your own. You're probably carrying a lot of expectations and timelines and to-dos all on your own, and that shit can get really heavy. And so today we're going to start to sit some of that stuff down, okay? I'm not saying it's going to be fixed right now. I'm not saying it's going to be completely different tomorrow, but this episode and what you're going to learn today is going to help start moving things forward again. Because there is life beyond this moment. There is possibility beyond this season. And sometimes you just need me in your ear to remind you of that. So that's what we're going to do. Since this is kind of a 5 ways to tap in type of deal, I definitely recommend jotting this down. In fact, I have created a worksheet for this. If you want to go one step further, it lives inside the Gutsy Collective. So as a member, you get access to the worksheets that I am now creating through the Gutsy podcast to help you with your personal growth journey. So whether you're already a member or you are joining today during this episode, if you go to the search bar and search for Powerback 232, this worksheet will pop up and you can download the PDF. So the very first thing, I'm not going to lie, you're probably not going to like it. This is not one that people usually are like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to do that. Listen, the first thing that we've got to do to tap back into your possibility, to start to get out of this rut that you've been in, my friend, you got to feel your feelings. I know, super unglamorous, very unsexy, incredibly inconvenient, and yet, if you don't do it, the shit's gonna keep bottling up. If you've been feeling some kind of way for quite some time and you've not expressed the emotions that have come along with it, you're just like storing emotion, right? It's getting pent up. It's like packing too much shit into a box and it's trying to pop open, but you keep putting the lid back down. And all that does is amplify your stress, your anxiety, your worry. It makes your emotions all over the place. It makes it really hard to sleep because you're walking around kind of feeling like a ticking time bomb. I mean, you might have even been in a situation where something happened and you just fucking snapped. Like I have been in that position as well. Like you've just gotten to the end, right? Like you've done enough, you've gotten so far, you've put up with enough shit. And now today, just that was the straw that broke the camel's back and we explode. It happens, right? You are a human being. There is no shame in that. Is that the way that you would want to do it? Probably not. But sometimes it happens. The other thing that kind of goes along with this though is the time, right? Like it's not convenient to cry, right? I don't want to cry at work. I don't want to blow up at home. I don't want to inconvenience people. I don't want people to see how I feel. Listen, I get all that. But if you want to really start moving past this season, my friend, you've got to process the emotions that have come along with it. You can't heal what you don't feel. And it's very difficult to go into this next stage and move beyond things when you are carrying the baggage of last season's shit. So what do you need to feel? And maybe you don't know, and that's okay too. Sometimes it's just creating the atmosphere to allow yourself to be able to feel it. If it's rage or anger, maybe it's time to beat the shit out of some stuff, right? Like in a very healthy, safe way, of course. You could go to a rage room. You could punch the hell out of some pillows. Huge fan of screaming, by the way. Gosh, that will release so much energy. In fact, sometimes when I'm feeling it building up and I let out a good scream, that can be the thing that allows the tears to flow behind it. I call it mad sad. You know, like when you're so angry about something that you just end up crying. Like we have to let those emotions come up and come out because that's your body's way of saying, hey, I'm ready to let go of this. It might be putting on some sad music and just like getting yourself in the space of feeling the sadness and letting those tears flow. You might even be thinking, Laura, I've been feeling all these things and I'm still not moving forward. Well, if it's still coming up, it's because we've not gotten to the end of the bucket. There's still more to feel, and that's okay. It might be a couple different times that you feel this. It might not be a single session where you just get it all out and move forward. Maybe it is. Like, give yourself the grace to feel what you need to feel when you need to feel it. This cleanses your palate. This helps you to get grounded. This helps you to get back into your body. And it's the most essential step to being able to move forward. The next step is to identify what you have been tolerating in this season. So let's say work has just gotten absolutely bonkers lately. Your schedule has been packed. Maybe you're working overtime. You've got a lot of extra things going on. You've taken on a lot of extra responsibilities. And people are asking you to do things that are outside of your scope or not part of your role or responsibility, but you're just like, all of a sudden you're just taking things on. You might be tolerating taking on extra tasks that don't belong to you. You might be tolerating, yes, I'll stay after another hour every single day. And it was supposed to be temporary, but now it's been 3 weeks. You might be tolerating taking phone calls during dinner with your family, right? Like when things get kind of mucky or busy or heavy, we tend to throw our boundaries just like out the fucking window down the highway. And so what I'm asking you today is just to start to notice what you've thrown out the window. What boundaries have you forgotten about? What things or actions or habits have you forgotten about? Or maybe you're discovering something new about yourself. Like maybe before you didn't mind working an extra hour every day, but your life is shifting and you're realizing, hey, this doesn't fit me anymore. This doesn't suit my life. This is actually taking away from me now. Notice where you are settling, dealing with something, ignoring a part of yourself, throwing your boundaries out the window, and then really acknowledge, how does this affect you? What is this doing to your life, to your health, to your time? To start making changes, we've got to first see and acknowledge what's been happening around us. That lets you go into the third one, which is to identify your non-negotiables. To start moving forward, to get your head above water again, we've got to start holding things sacred again. This could be something as simple as putting your phone on silent after 5 o'clock when you leave the office. It might be not taking meetings before 10 a.m. because the morning is your creative superpower space and you've been giving that to everybody else. The goal here is to find something that works for you, that you know helps you to be able to move forward, and then hold that shit sacred. This is safe space. This is time. This is a habit. This is something that works well for you that no one can disrupt. Another way to look at this or ask yourself is, what do I need? What do I really need right now? That, my friend, is your non-negotiable. The fourth one is where we get to start looking ahead again, right? These first few have been really just kind of like getting your grounding again, getting your space, recollecting yourself. The next thing that you get to do is to dream again, is to tap back into your imagination. What idea or change keeps calling you? What is that one next thing that you keep getting pulled towards? Maybe you've been wanting to start a business or book a girls' trip with your friends. Maybe you've been wanting to paint the basement forever and a half. Or you've been wanting to get into meal prepping each week, right? Like, this gets to be whatever it is for you. But because of this season that you've been in, you've just not had the bandwidth to even freaking think about it. Now, this certainly could be a brand new idea that's coming to you now, but I'm gonna guess that this is something that's been in the back of your mind for a while. What keeps calling you back? Now, instead of looking down in the trenches, we are looking up over top of it. You're starting to see the light. You see that the grass is turning green again. And okay, we're acknowledging, hey, maybe we're not out of the trenches, but now we're starting to get a taste of what's possible, that there is life beyond this. And oh yeah, there are things that I want to do. Now, knowing you, there's like 30 of them. And I get that. You can write down anything and everything that comes to you. That's totally fine. You don't have to choose one. And maybe honestly, all you need is just to tap back into those things, that collective feeling of something more for your life. Even the act of remembering what's possible and what is meaningful to you can be enough to start getting things moving again. You see, clarity is direction. When we don't have clarity on where we want to go or what's important to us, we end up doing a whole bunch of shit and not really getting anywhere. By really tapping into, and I'm talking like, let yourself go there, right? Like, sit outside under the sun and drink your favorite beverage and just daydream. Maybe journaling is something that works better for you, where you just sit down and you write out your ideas. Hell, you might even take a little peruse through Pinterest to get reignited again, like go back through some of your old pins and some of your old boards just to like, oh yeah, I forgot that was something that I wanted to do or try. Play with it. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't know how it's all going to work out. You don't even need to know when all of this is going to happen. The entire goal here is to remember what's important to you. This is where you start reconnecting with yourself, and that starts to give you direction. Now, if you want to take it one step further and you do want to start to create a little bit of a plan, then I encourage you to choose one thing that you would like to commit to. And before we get into the how-tos and the timing and all that stuff, that's for another day, okay? The thing I want you to focus on today is, how could this one thing, improve your life? What does it mean to you? What is the feeling that it could give you? What is the freedom or the flexibility that it will give you? How could this change your life for the better, add value to it, impact yourself and those around you? This is going to start to activate your body. I want you to really even take it one step further and just close your eyes and envision yourself already doing or having this thing. Notice how your life shifts in your body, in your feelings. Notice the optimism and the big, deep breath that you take. Let yourself smile with it and experiment and let it be weird and all over the place. This, my friend, remember this feeling. This is your possibility. This is the feeling that I want you to start tapping back into when you get back down into the trenches after you finish this episode. This is what you get to anchor back into when you start to feel discouraged or things aren't moving fast enough. I want you to pause and tap back into this possibility. This is going to be your guiding light, your encouragement, your motivation, and your reason to keep taking one step forward. This season that you're in, it's temporary. I know it feels like a million damn ass years, but there is another side. And if you use this formula or these steps or however you want to frame it today, I promise you, slowly but surely, you will start to move ahead again. So feel what you need to feel. Let that shit out of your body. Notice what you are tolerating, what you're settling for. Rediscover and lock back into what is your non-negotiable. What do I need? Tap into the idea of the possibility. What are you daydreaming about? What keeps calling you back? And then notice, choose one thing and really notice, how can this change my life? What is the possibility when I say yes to myself and to this thing? I promise you it's going to get better, okay? I hear you, I see you, and I totally fucking believe in you. And remember, if you want a group of women that also totally fucking believe in you, the Gutsy Collective is one of the most supportive, practical, and energizing spaces that exists. You can start your membership and get access to the PDF download of today's exercise by going to LauraAura.com and clicking on the Gutsy Collective. If we are not already, my friend, we need to be friends on social media. You can find me on your favorite platform by using @thatLauraAura. And as always, until I see you next time, stay Gutsy.